Hi there. If you point out another child's bad behavior, will that discourage your child from doing it? That's the question I'm going to chat about today for a couple of moments. Lots of parents believe that if they point out another child's bad behavior or their inappropriate behavior, it'll teach their child not to do those behaviors. And that may work sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work. But what it will almost always do is it will teach your child to judge both themselves and other people. So it's not what I recommend. More often than not, when kids' behavior is inappropriate or aggressive or, in some way undesirable, what's happening is there's something going on inside the nervous system. There's either some dysregulation, maybe they're in a bit of fight flight, and that's causing them to be aggressive or, towards other kids. Maybe they've got something going on at home. And that's not necessarily to blame the parents, but there might be stressors in the home that are just leaving them feeling, powerless or struggling in some way. If you have a teenager, for instance, and you don't want your teenager to be drinking or smoking cigarettes, and you're pointing out other, examples of that and why it's problematic. So again, sometimes it can be helpful, but often when there's overuse or inappropriate use of substances, it's a lot more linked to the child or teen's need not being met in some way. So where I'm going with this is when our kids or other people's kids behave in a way that's undesirable, often there's either some dysregulation going on or there's a need that isn't met, and the child's behavior is an attempt to get that need met. And so that's why it's rarely helpful to label that behavior, that you might even see in other kids, another child in your kid's classroom. It's rarely helpful to label that behavior as bad and hope that it's going to discourage your child. What's a lot more effective is really focusing on staying connected to your child, attending to your child's emotional needs and their physical needs, of course, but often it's emotional needs that really can trigger some of these behaviors that we struggle with in our kids. So, and also teaching your family values and role modeling them. So again, it's rarely helpful to label bad behavior as a strategy for trying to discourage your child, because it ignores what the real underlying causative factors are. We need to address those first. So I hope that's helpful. Thanks for listening today.